profits are not made in selling high. You make the profits in buying cheap. Mentally prepared already to get liquidated 10 times.
And there's this stats that 90% of people lose money, and you're the 10%. How do you consistently be the 10%?
Well, if I go out and I want to do day trading, buy, sell Bitcoin on a daily basis, make profits quick, I would be part of the 90% for sure. Actually, 98% or so. My trades, where I make all the money, which makes up for the some losses I'm doing, is the long-term trades. And it is easy actually, but money is for me just a number, so I don't really get attached to it, which might be part of this success formula. It's a little bit of a manipulation of my own mind, but it works, right? In the end, if it prevents you from being either fearful or greedy, it will set you apart of most of the people in the market which are losing money. I put in 500K. If I get liquidated 10 times, my maximum downside would be $5 million. When Bitcoin dumps down and everyone hates Bitcoin and no one wants to trade, everyone lost their money already, Bitcoin went down already 50-60%, that's when I get interested. That's when I open my first trade, kind of small amount. If I get liquidated, no problem, I open another one. I get liquidated, I open it again. I open this trade over and over until I eventually hit the bottom, and because we have the money printers working for us. We have the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and we know one thing for sure, they will not just suddenly stop printing money. I do believe in the cycle. 4-year cycle might be over.
Got the whole crypto world going wild. On a blockchain, she's the queen of the game. Stacking crypto like it's her claim to fame. If you want success, then take a look away.
I'm with one of the most well-respected and honestly nicest person I've ever met, Chris from MMCrypto here in Dubai.
Thank you very much. You are also very nice. We met in Miami the first time, I think, right? At the Michael Saylor New Year's Eve party.
I've met so many people there. It's incredible. And I saw you there. I was like, I need to go say hi. I love your stuff. And it's crazy how I am here in Dubai at your really, really beautiful house. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Happy to have you. I checked your channel. You are huge in Taiwan. It's incredible the amount of views you are getting, and it's an honor for me to be on this channel. A lot of smart people in your audience, I guess. You have crazy guests, so
you're one of the crazy guests.
Thank you. Yeah, now it seems like it. I don't know.
Okay, one thing I really like about you is how you started and the story. I think it is so inspiring. Would you just tell some of our audience that might not have heard it yet, from where you started, from how you get here?
Yeah, I mean, many people who know me, they will already know I was driving a taxi between 2013 and 2017. But while driving a taxi, I was also studying economics, right? So in the week I studied economics. On the weekend I was driving a taxi to get by, of course, pay rent, get money for food and stuff. So that was good because I stopped partying. I started getting more interested actually in the study I was doing, which was economics. I understood economics. I understood also the problems of the current financial system. We had one professor, he was working at the European Central Bank before. So he was a central banker and he dropped off. He dropped out because he hated it, right? He hated the Keynesian economics, the traditional financial system. So he did a great job on passing that hatred to us and telling us what is wrong about the financial system. So I got a deep understanding about the problems of the long-term issues of just printing money, printing us out of problems, right? Printing us out of recessions, because long-term this can't work out. I knew that already. So I thought the solution is silver, the solution is gold, which is still part of the solution. But then somewhere around 2017, first I heard about like Bitcoin, but I heard through MLMs, and I don't really like MLMs so much. Eventually I heard about it not through MLMs, like as an investment tool. So I looked into it with my economic mind and my taxi driver mind, and I understood, okay, Bitcoin is maybe part of the solution. So I thought, okay, there's much more growth potential. Bitcoin is so much smaller than gold. So why not put all my efforts into that if I know that the current biggest problem in our life is the financial system, which redistributes wealth from the poor through the middle class to the rich, right? And if I know that this system will collapse at one point, it's inevitable, and then the solution will be silver, gold, and Bitcoin has the biggest growth potential, why not put all my efforts into that? So not only that I put all my money into it, which was nothing. I mean, I think the chair is more expensive than the money I had back then. But it was a little bit, so I put all of that money in. I kept a little bit to just get by. And then I thought, okay, I need to generate cash flow because I studied economics, I studied success, mindset, and I knew investment alone will never make you rich. You need to create a cash flow, right? So I also tried to find a way to create a business around this whole thing. And I found YouTube, sponsorships first, affiliate marketing, then I went into trading, and I just tried to, no matter what, create more cash flow, whether it's profits from trades, affiliate marketing, YouTube, anything what gets me more cash flow, which I can then put into Bitcoin. My primary purpose financially was always to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. Even if I bought altcoins, it was always for the purpose to get more Bitcoin.
I love that. So let's go back to your first YouTube video. Was it awkward for you? Yes, you want to generate revenue, but it's so awkward to just talk to the camera for the first time.
Yeah, it's funny. If people go to the channel MMCrypto, the main channel, and you go on videos, and then you sort by date, you go to the oldest video, you go to oldest, you will see that video. It's German, but it's still funny to watch. Maybe please don't go and don't watch it.
Comment.
Because it's no. It was horrible. That one took me it's a few minutes. It took me 8 hours to record. I had an editor and everything, was a friend of mine. And it was so bad. But I'm still proud of it because it was the first step into that world. It was fun, right? It's just a nice example of very uncomfortable things can lead to something very great in the end.
And right now, your trades are incredible. People are following it. Really big numbers, too. And people make shorts about your trade, which is another level. Like, usually people talk about you, yes, but people talk about just your trade now.
Yeah.
But earlier off camera, you were telling me how it is actually not as hard as people think it is, which to me is mind-blowing. I would think that trading is very difficult for most people, and there's this stats that 90% of people lose money.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're the 10%. How do you consistently be the 10%?
Well, if I go out and I want to do day trading, buy, sell Bitcoin on a daily basis, make profits quick, I would be part of the 90% for sure. Actually, 98% or so. Like, let's be honest, it's like very few people who really professionally with algo trading or like they really great traders who put in more than 10,000 hours into their trading, they can maybe make some profits on a small scale, right? Also not on a big scale. But I would be part of the losing people. But I think my trades where I make all the money, which makes up for the some losses I'm doing, is the long-term trades. And it is easy actually, not the emotional part. That might be difficult for some people. But money is for me just a number, so I don't really get attached to it, which might be part of this success formula. But this very big trade, which is so public and famous, is actually the trade which was the easiest. And I explained to you before. And I want to do the same thing again. So what I did in 2022, I did the same also in 2019. When Bitcoin dumps down and everyone hates Bitcoin and no one wants to trade, everyone lost their money already, Bitcoin went down already 50, 60%, that's when I get interested. That's when I open my first trade, right? Kind of small amount. If I get liquidated, no problem, I open another one. I get liquidated, I open it again. I open this trade over and over until I eventually hit the bottom and I don't get liquidated. Like this, you force actually to eventually hit the bottom. Like mathematically, at one point you will hit the bottom, that's for sure. Maybe you get liquidated 10 times, okay, but mentally, I'm already prepared to get liquidated 10 times. Much more than that is actually mathematically impossible because at one point we hit some number close to zero, so that will be the bottom. And once this happens, I have a position open close to the bottom, close enough to the bottom not to get liquidated. And once that happens, from that point of time, the market will act in my favor, will go up. So I'll lean back and just watch the trade go profitable. And as we cross resistance levels, I scale up the trade cautiously, right? The liquidation price will move a little bit, so I'll be very cautious with that. I scale it up cautiously, and that's where we are now. So I had this trade, which was like a $30 million trade or so. It started as a small trade, $200,000, I think, at a 10x leverage, which was 2 million. And then I scaled it higher. And at one point, when it's very profitable, I start taking profits when we go above the previous all-time high, which was once we went above 69,000 US dollars, which was the previous all-time high. I start taking profits, right? At Fibonacci extension levels, at measured move price targets, and I take 10%, 20%, and so on. Now I took 80% profits already. So if that trade goes all the way down to my liquidation price, which now it was at 15,000 or so, now the liquidation price is already at, I have to check, maybe 58, 59,000. Possible that we hit that level, not very likely, but it's very possible. I mean, it's actually, if that is a bear market, it's quite likely because that would be just a 50% retracement, but I'll be fine because I already took 80% profits. So now more interesting for the viewers, I want to do the same thing again. If we do break lower, let's say we break below 82,000, which is at time of recording, the current low. If we break below that, okay, I open a new trade, let's say at 79,000 at 10x leverage. If we hit 72, I get liquidated because it's a 10x, no problem. I open another one, 65 liquidated, okay, I open another one, 59 or 50,000, 60,000, I get liquidated, I open another one again, 55 again. No matter what, at one point I will hit the bottom. If not, Bitcoin goes to zero. We have different problems, I think. Right? I'll go back to taxi driving maybe, hopefully not. But that is the plan, right? So I'll be fine, mentally prepared already to get liquidated 10 times. Let's say I put in 500K. If I get liquidated 10 times, my maximum downside would be $5 million. But eventually, if I do hit the bottom and Bitcoin hits the new all-time high in the new next bull market, let it be 200, 300,000, I don't know what it will be, but I will have made back all this liquidated money multiple times, and I did that already 2 times. This will be the third time. And why am I so certain that this will happen? Well, because we have the money printers working for us, right? You have the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and we know one thing for sure, they will not let their friends down. They will not just suddenly stop printing money. The bigger the crisis, the more money printing will happen. And beneficiaries will be, of course, things which are not easily inflatable. Silver, gold, Bitcoin. So I know time will work in my favor once I hit the bottom with my trade. That's the strategy.
A few takeaways I got from what you just said. First is you believe in the cycle religiously. It seems like you believe in the 4-year cycle religiously.
Well, first of all, not religiously, but...
Yeah, of course not. I'm sorry, not
no.
You know what I mean.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. But I do believe in the cycle. 4-year cycle might be over. Who knows, right? I mean, we should have hit the high in December now or November. That would have been the real 4-year cycle high. So technically, this is already not a 4-year cycle. If Bitcoin not suddenly jumps up to 130,000, the 4-year cycle is already broken. But I believe in cycles. So I believe in bear markets where weekends are shaken out, and then in bull markets where we have money printing, where we have euphoria, exuberance, and people just speculating too much. So this will always happen. We saw that in the stock market happening over and over again. We see that everywhere. And that's just the natural state of the market. Extreme fear, extreme greed. And I believe that this will repeat itself over and over again. Whether it's going to be 4-year cycle or not, I don't really care about that. And because of the money printing, I believe that new all-time highs will be higher than the previous all-time high. By how much? Who knows, right? But it will be higher. That's what I truly believe in. And if I'm wrong about that, well, then the law of nature suddenly gets defeated, and then I'll get defeated also, and maybe my next trade will not work out. But so far, I am banking on the law of nature, on us having bear markets, bull markets, on us having extreme fear, extreme greed. And as long as these laws of nature continue, I'll be profitable with my strategy.
长大以后发现呢，英文不用考试了，反而更需要用到，因为英文不只是工作用的技能，而是能够帮你打开更多机会跟自由的大门。不管是上班还是创业，只要英文好呢，可能可以接触到更高薪的外商或是远端工作，或者是说做生意不用局限在原先的市场，更能够面向全球。每天花一点时间投资自己，就可以把距离拉开。怎么样利用生活零碎的时间加强英文能力呢？可以试试看这个强大的生成式 AI， Google 投资的英文个人教练 App ELSA Speak。全球已经超过了9000万次的下载了。不管你的程度在哪里呢，它都能够根据你的需求跟喜好量身定做每一天的学习计划。每一天的专属课程里面包含了文法、词汇、发音、对话。英文只要发音对了，就会让人家听起来很舒服。ELSA 的发音练习，在你念出英文之后 ，App 就会立刻告诉你发音可以怎么样更进步。最厉害的角色扮演功能，让你能够练习任何场景对话，再给发音、文法、用字这些详细的中英文反馈，让你知道怎么样说最到地。
Well, I really appreciate that you answer these questions.
I appreciate your kind words.
另外，想要讲长篇英文，可以到 Premium 网页版限定的 Speech Analyzer， 你只要录一段英文的口说，就可以预测专业考试的口说分数，学习超有效率。如果你想要从基础开始学习，那可以从 ELSA Pro 的方案开始。如果你想要基础到进阶，完全解锁 AI 的英语对话，还可以上到雅思啊、托福这些专业的英语课程，那 ELSA Premium 可能更适合你。这一个月的年终限时大优惠，让终身版非常划算。现在到资讯栏的连结点进去啊，使用频道的专属优惠码 BONNIE Bonnie， 最高优惠将近4折。这个优惠码呢，只适用于资讯栏的专属连结。
The other thing that is really important from what you said is your crazy discipline. So a lot of people add money to just avoid being liquidated. And then they just lose more and more, and they get deeper and deeper into their trades. And it seems like you don't.
That seems a very dangerous strategy. It can help you sometimes, right? But you have to always put exponentially more in to move your liquidation price down. You have to deleverage, put more margin in. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, you suddenly, let's say you put $1,000 and you have to move your liquidation price just 3 times, maybe suddenly you lose 20,000. Right? So I don't want to focus on that. Focusing on moving your liquidation price, not getting liquidated, is focusing on something negative, right? Preventing something bad to happen. I rather go in when the bad happens already. I buy the fear, I buy the blood in the streets. It sounds horrible, right? But you want to buy cheap, right? And I think that's how I want to make my money. So I want to make my money by getting in cheap. In real estate, the people say the same. Your profits are not made in selling high. You make the profits in buying cheap, right? And I want to do the same with my trades. I want to do the same with my investments. So whenever I get some fiat in, boom, Bitcoin. Whenever I get profits in, I mean, even the 80% I mentioned earlier, I took in profits on my Bitcoin trade. It's a Bitcoin settled future, right? And it's not a US dollar tether settled future. So when I take profits, I take these profits in Bitcoin. If we go higher, I'm so happy because my hard asset Bitcoin, which I took the profits in, they go up with it. If it goes lower, no problem. Let's say I took 100 Bitcoin profit. If we go down 50%, it's still 100 Bitcoin. So that's how I play with my mind a little bit. So if we go higher, I'm happy. If we go lower, it doesn't hurt. It's still the same amount of Bitcoin. And that's how, no matter what really happens, it doesn't really freak me out. It's a little bit of a manipulation of my own mind, but it works, right? In the end, if it prevents you from being either fearful or greedy, it will set you apart of most of the people in the market which are losing money. And they are losing money usually because they are acting upon their emotion, whether it's fear or greed. So if you can, no matter how, I do it with manipulation of my own mind, exclude greed and fear from the market by looking at it just as a number, trying to never be fearful, never be greedy. And I had moments where I was, and I lost money in these moments. But if you can manage that, I think you are already better than most people in the market and you'll perform well.
You know how when there's like this new shiny meme coin, when it comes out, you can be like, I'll put in a little money and maybe a 10x, then that's a very quick, $1 mil, $2 mil, just in what, 30 minutes? And that is when you lose the money, right? Exactly. Because you don't know how the market is going to move. How do you stop yourself from pressing that buy button?
Well, I know that there's people behind and they do this to get your Bitcoin, right? So in the end, they just want you to put it in and they make the money and they put it in Bitcoin. Like they have They probably have the same goal to just accumulate more of what's valuable, but they don't really believe in their meme coins. We see that now. I was for a long time now already just promoting only Bitcoin, because if you look at how the market is structured now, you have millions of altcoins, right? With Solana, like everyone can easily make an altcoin. Not just meme coins, even these smart contract platforms, which seem to solve some problem maybe, or serve some purpose. Just make the math. We have whatever, like 200 million people who got in touch with crypto already, maybe 300 million people. They got at least in touch with crypto. Almost everyone in Turkey already got in touch with crypto, for example. So let's say it's 200 million. We have 8 billion people. That is like maybe 40x. But then we have a lot of people, and there's no offense, but like purchasing power wise, there's a lot of people which can't add so much purchasing power to crypto anymore, like many people in India or Africa or so. Amazing human beings, but purchasing power wise, not so much more can flow into it. A lot of smart money, a lot of big money is already invested and has already easy access to crypto through things like BlackRock and so on. So the amount of purchasing power which can still come into the space is quite limited, right? Let it be like, I don't know, if 5x, 10x, 20x, okay, that's possible. But look at the amount of new projects hitting the market. We have like 2017 we had 1,000 altcoins maybe. 2020 already it was 20, 30,000. Now we have millions. So it is impossible that the additional purchasing power hitting the market can serve all of these additional altcoins being in the market. So it is impossible for all of these altcoins to go up. Mathematically, it makes much more sense for me to go to the first mover advantage, to go to Bitcoin, winner takes it all principle, rather than trying to hit this one BNB maybe, which has value, which can still grow. It's very difficult to find this one needle in the haystack, right? So instead of like making all of that research, having sleepless nights, I rather stick with the winner, stick with Bitcoin. And honestly, Bitcoin is at 90,000 now. I think the best case scenario, let it be $10 million per Bitcoin, even if that's far out in the future, that's 100x. So I rather take a potential 100x, maybe worst case, in my opinion, a 10x, rather than some altcoin which might do 100x maybe, but most likely it's gonna go minus 100%. Or if it goes minus 99%, you have to make 100x to get your money back. So I just don't play that game. I think risk return wise, if you look at the probability function, risk return wise, the best bet, even for small people, is Bitcoin.
And life is so much more than just the trades.
Yes.
The world is so beautiful. Go out and enjoy life. Spend time with your friends, your family.
Exactly.
And people are so trapped in the numbers game, but they forget the only thing that is limited. Of course, Bitcoin is limited, but your time and your health is also very limited. And you're now also very focused on your new channel that is talking about health. And I'm just intrigued. How did that transition come about?
Health, yeah, I think health is amazing. It's such an important part of our life. Before I was focusing on crypto, on money, because I wanted to make more money, of course. And I thought, okay, the best thing is to add as much value as possible to the people so you can get as much reach as possible and then convert that reach, that attention into money. Right, that was the strategy. Now I feel like, okay, I achieved a lot of monetary wealth already. A lot of my early followers achieved a lot of monetary wealth. I experienced myself how important it is to be healthy also. So I want to apply the exact same principle to health now, right? And eventually, if I can help 100 million people to get more healthy or 1 billion people to get more healthy, that will translate in a lot of wealth also. But the more health I create in the world, the more money I can make from it. That's a beautiful thought process, I thought. So my goal will be to reach as many people as possible with my channel, Health. And the more people I reach, if I can monetize that somehow by adding value to people, by teaching them about health, make more money by creating more health, I thought that is even more beautiful than the crypto thing, right?
So it's like sound money and also healthy lifestyle. Okay, tell me one mistake that you've made in the past on health, that if you could go back and tell yourself, stop doing that, what would that one advice be?
Yeah, I don't want your channel to be taken down, but that would definitely be not doing a root canal treatment.
Really?
Yeah, I had a root canal treatment, and there's a big conspiracy behind. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it seems like root canals can be very problematic for humans.
But we're gonna check out your stuff. I'm sure you're gonna talk about it.
I will publish a video about that very soon. I have to make sure that I do it in a politically correct manner, that the video can stay online, but I will definitely make a video about that. There's also a huge documentary, Root Cause, which people can watch. It's very great. After watching it, I took this tooth out. So that is one message I want to give out to the people, because I know many people have these root canal treatments.
I was expecting something like lightweight, don't drink or don't smoke, but this is, wow, this is deep. And you dig really, really deep.
Exactly. I think they heard this don't drink, don't smoke
Yeah.
many times, and that is still correct. Don't drink, don't smoke. But that is a more special thing I wanted to share with you guys, because you would never believe.
What are the little things that make you happy nowadays? Other than, I think, for all your viewers to grow wealthier and healthier, what are the little things in life that makes you smile?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, many people watching that, I think you have a very smart audience, very financially educated audience, so your focus is already on money. Great. But I think there are many things which are important in life, and many things which are important for us to be happy long term. And yes, that might be wealth, but not just wealth as striving for it, wanting more cars and stuff. Having wealth as a tool to set you free, right? Or as a tool to be able to pay for an operation for your family or something, that really makes you happy. So then you can spin it further and you can say, okay, health is very important, love is very important, purpose is important. For me personally, I found out that faith is very important. These more non-materialistic things, they really make you happy, I think. And then, of course, having a purpose, which can be raising your kids, it can be growing a value-adding company, it can be growth in general, it can be working on your health or anything, educating people. A purpose in general, I think, is very important. I like creating wealth, but for me, wealth, money, making money is just like a scorecard. So it's for me like a scorecard and showing how successful I am in what I'm doing. And if success then is for me a measurement of how many people I can help, then that is a great way of course, creating happiness through money, right? But other than that, I think things like health, purpose, family, these things are long-term much, much more important to focus on.
You know, this is very wholesome talking to you. It's like you have this very like calm energy that I think most people do not really understand, because the crypto market is so crazy and they assume people in it are just ups and downs. But you have this energy that calms people down, and I really appreciate this conversation we have. Please come back soon, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you for having me here, right? I'm very grateful to be here and to talk to this audience. So I want to come to China and Taiwan at any point in the future. Big pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. And you said the calmness, it's true, but some of my emergency videos don't spread so much calmness. I don't know if you saw them.
The thumbnails, that's what I want. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Like, yes, that, but you have this calm energy that I would love people to just absorb.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.